What's going on, everybody? Gleez here, and today we're going to talk about quite the polarizing topic, as it has now been confirmed that there will be preset variations for competitive modes, meaning ranked online, as well as tournament play. Now, there's two sides to this argument. You have the argument that we should have only preset variations, as the game may be broken with custom, and you have the other side that says preset variations are boring and we need to open the game up and get all of these moves within the game. But is there another option? Let's talk about it. So my stance on this, I feel like NRS is doing the right thing in making preset variations the norm for competitive modes. Now, before you get out your pitchforks and try to kick down my door, what I would like to say is that I do want to see all of these moves implemented within the game's lifetime in competitive play, and I think that there's a sound way to do this. So this is what I'm thinking. So the game is set to launch with 2 to 3 variations per character that are going to be able to be used in competitive modes and in tournament play. I think that's good. What would be better? 4. What would be better? 5, right? Get all those moves into the game. But can we do that all at once? I don't think we can. I don't think it's practical to implement all of these moves all at the same time into the game. But what I do propose is that over time, very similar to Street Fighter V, how the different types of V-triggers were added to the game, we start implementing over time different variations to each character. So the characters then evolve over time with different variations, different tool sets, and the matchups do slightly change or majorly change depending on the variation. I think this would be a good way to keep the game fresh. You're going to incorporate new types of movesets, and you're going to eventually, not at first, but eventually, see all of these different types of moves in competitive play. Now, in a perfect world, we would be able to do that. So we would be able to implement all of these variations, all of these moves, and over time be able to see all of them in competitive play. And not only that, we'll be able to see all of them in a balanced environment because all of the variations are preset. Now, some people may say, well, I want to make my own variation. And I think that that's also a really cool idea. I just think it's very difficult for NRS to balance that. I think that's something that is very difficult to handle, not only for the developers in balancing, but also for competitive players. It's very difficult to go into a match and not be quite sure exactly what moves your opponent has. Maybe they can implement something on the screen that makes it a little bit more clear. Some of the pictures also I've noticed in the beta, but again, it is the beta, don't actually match the move that you're actually associating it with. One of them being Jade's air projectile. All right, doesn't actually have the correct picture. It's swapped with the projectile that she throws up into the sky. So I noticed that as well. So, there are little things that can be fixed, can be tweaked to allow for customs, but I just don't think that it's a practical situation, especially when players are spending upwards of, $1,000, $1,200 to go out to an event, get to a tournament. All of a sudden they're playing, this guy with this custom variation or this girl with this custom variation, and the variation's broken. There's something that glitches the game. It doesn't work as intended by the developers, and they're out of, $12,000 or $1,200, maybe $1,000. All right, they're out all that money, and they lost to a defect in the game because the game wasn't balanced properly. All right, and we want to avoid that as competitive players. Now, I do think, again, it is integral to implement all of these new moves into the game at some point to keep the game fresh and to keep the interest of the viewers. The viewers on the stream and the casual players are so important, and I think that that sometimes is missed amongst a lot of the people in the community. The way that the scene grows, this is the way it grows. You have people at the top that are playing, they get older, they're competitive players, but eventually they stop playing. Life catches up to them, they get a little bit older, they get responsibilities. They may still play, but not as much, and they kind of die out. We need people that are casual players to move to competitive to fill those spots. And hopefully, the way a community will grow, hopefully you have more casual players that move to competitive than you do players that kind of either fizzle out or retire or, become parents and things of that nature. And I think that keeping the game fresh, keeping it enticing, making sure the viewers are excited to watch it, I think that all of those things lend themselves to that type of environment. Also, if people are enjoying the streams, they're enjoying the gameplay, you get more viewers, you get more advertisements, you get more money, bigger pots, etc. So the casual player, keeping the audience engaged in the game and excited to watch it is something that's extremely important, and I think that implementing all of these moves eventually, not at first, but eventually is going to be very important. So that's my take on the situation, but I want to hear yours. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole entire thing. Do you just want customs to come in? Do you think it's better to just have a couple preset variations and leave it at that? Or do you think we should add new preset variations over time? So as always, I want to thank you for checking in. Also, if you're new, don't forget to click that subscribe button. It's Gleez signing out, and continue to game strong.